Let us see the next question. N Ltd, a United Kingdom company, is in the process of negotiating an order amounting to euro 4 million with a large German retailer on 6 months credit. So information is provided to us about a UK company. Of course, it has the pound currency as its domestic currency. If successful, this will be the first time that N Ltd has exported goods into highly competitive German market. The following three alternatives are being considered for managing the transaction risk before the order is finalized. Invoice the German firm in sterling using the current exchange rate to calculate the invoice amount. Means send invoice to the customer, that is a customer, in pound currency, that is in the domestic currency only, using the current exchange rate. We may be having said a strong negotiation power, so we may be able to invoice the customer in our own currency, and we will be able to say recover the amount in the domestic currency only. To determine the same, we will use the spot exchange rate. Second is alternative of invoicing the German firm in a euro and using the forward foreign exchange contract to hedge the transaction risk. So the second alternative is that say you can enter into the forward contract for the purpose of hedging. That is the second alternative. Third, invoice the German first in euro and use the sufficient 6 months sterling futures contract to nearly whole number to hedge the transaction risk. Some information is provided to us. Spot exchange rate euro per pound, 6 months forward premium is given to us 0.60 slash 0.55 euro cents. 6 months futures contract is currently trading at 1.1760 euro per pound. 6 months futures contract has a lot size of 62,500 pound. Spot rate and 6 months futures rate have been provided to us. Spot rate and 6 months futures rate is provided as 1.1785. It means that say the spot exchange rate is given, and say the at the end of the 6 months the futures rate is given to us as 1.1785 euro per pound. Calculate the nearest pound the receipt for N Ltd under each of the three proposals. In your opinion, which alternative would you consider to be most appropriate and the reason thereof? So that is the way, so the two questions are there. Please go through the question, all of you. So friends, over here we understand that so this is a very simple question which we are required to solve from the UK company point of view. So write down answer along with me. Alternative number 1. In that, invoice customer in pound currency. So in that we can see that say the spot rate is provided to us 1.1750 slash 1.1770 euro per pound. That is the spot exchange rate. Now if at all we enter into the, that is we have to compute the consideration amount. In that, say we are required to use the spot exchange rate. So the spot transaction, it is sell of euro and purchase of pound. The amount is provided to us as 4 million, that is 40 lakhs euro. It is this amount of the pound. So sell of euro and purchase of pound, higher amount of the euro is to be given for 1 pound. So it is euro and pound 1.1770, euro is equal to 1 pound. So for 40 lakhs euro, it is this amount of the pound. So what will happen? It is 40 lakhs into 1. That is going to remain 40 lakhs only, divided by 1.1770. Dear students, we are not going to receive the consideration today. Just using the spot exchange rate, we will raise the invoice to the customer in pound currency. And our customer is going to make payment to us in pound currency at the end of the 6 months. That is the way we have to understand. So it is 40 lakhs divided by 1.1770. That comes to 33,98,470.69. This is the amount of the pound that we are going to receive. In the first alternative, when are we going to receive it? After 6 months. That is the first alternative. Alternative number 2. In which we understand that we enter into the forward contract. What is the forward contract? Forward contract is sell of euro and purchase of pound. That's very simple, because the second alternative is given to us as entering into the forward contract. Dear students, we have been provided with the spot exchange rate and we have been provided with the forward premium. It is say euro cents. So using that, say we are required to make the computation of the forward exchange rate. So calculation of forward exchange rate, it is 1.1750 slash 1.1770 euro per pound. This is the spot exchange rate. And 6 months forward premium. We can see it is high low, so it is required to be deducted in order to compute the forward exchange rate. We have to understand that it is the provided in terms of the premium slash discount. That is the swap points, forward points have been provided to us. That is what we understand. It is say 0.60 slash 0.55. Okay. So in that case, it will be deducted in order to compute the forward exchange rate. So 1.1690 slash 1.1715 euro per pound. This is the way the forward exchange rate can be calculated. Okay. Now we understand that the forward contract is sell of euro and purchase of pound. So for higher amount of the euro, you will get a pound. So euro pound 1.1715 euro is equal to 1 pound. So 40 lakhs euro is equal to how much amount of the pound? This is what you are going to receive if at all you enter into the forward contract. And forward contract will be entered upon exactly for the amount for which you are going to receive the consideration. So it is 34,14,425.95. This is the amount of the pound that say we are going to receive. Third alternative, in which we understand that say the question is providing the futures contract. I request you to do the third part of the question on your own. Put your answer in the chat box. Try to do the third futures contract on your own. So let us see that say how to do answer over here. Again we have to go in the sequence as what we have discussed. We have been provided with the information about the futures rate as 1.1760 euro per pound. So write down answer the question. Heading right down futures contract. In that write down step number 1, number of futures contract, comma, that N Ltd, that is the UK company, will enter into for sell of euro and purchase of pound. This is the number of contracts to be entered upon. So let us see contract and amount. Entering into one contract, in that case it is 62,500 into you can see that say it has been provided that so the futures rate is $1.1760 per pound. 1.1760 per pound. So that comes to 73,500. This is the way I have converted this into euro term. So over here I am keeping say 40 lakhs euro. As we have discussed friends already, this 40 lakhs euro can be converted into pound to compute the number of contracts. So 40 lakhs into 1 does not make a sense. Divided by 73,500. So 40 lakhs divided by 73,500. That comes to 54.42. That is 54 contracts. This is the way we are required to compute the number of contracts to be entered upon. If at all you write 55, that is also acceptable friends. Step number 2. Calculation of profit or loss with square of futures contract. So let us see that say how to calculate the same. So now we understand that say originally the contract was sell of euro and purchase of pound. See the amount of the pound is 62,500 and number of contracts are 54. So 62,500 into 54, that comes to 33,75,000. Reverse is sell pound and purchase euro. That is 33,75,000 pound was supposed to be sold to purchase euro. Now the original contract, okay, sell euro and purchase pound, was entered upon at the rate of 1.1760 euro per pound. So 1.1760 into 33,75,000. That comes to 39,69,000. Okay, later on when you purchase euro, it is again 33,75,000 multiplying with. Friends, over here the question speaks like this, that the spot exchange rate and 6 months futures exchange rate, both of them are same, 1.1785. So over here we will take 1.1785. So 33,75,000 multiplying with 1.1875, sorry, 1.1785, that comes to 39,77,000, 39,77,437.5. Dear students, always remember, you purchase means you receive, you sell means you pay. So minus 39,69,000. So difference between both of them is a profit. Amount of the profit is 8,437.50. This is the amount of the profit that say you have, and it is in the euro currency. This is the step number 2. So we understand that this was the original contract and this is the new contract. New, that is what we understand, that's the square of the original one. Step number 3, calculation of amount receivable in pound currency. That is what we are going to calculate. So now in step number 3, amount receivable, we understand that importantly, that is spot transaction. Spot transaction is sale of euro and purchase of pound. Dear students, we have received an amount of the 40 lakhs from customer, plus there is a profit of 8437.5. This is the total amount that you have received, and for that you will receive this amount of the pound. Coincidentally, the spot exchange rate is equal to the futures exchange rate, 1.1785. So we understand that it is dollar pound. 1.1785 dollar is equal to 1 pound. So 40 lakhs plus 8437.5 is equal to this amount of pound. So 40 lakhs plus 8437.5 into 1 does not make a sense, divided by 1.1785. So the final answer comes to 34,01,304. So 34,01,304.62 pound. So this is the amount of the pound that you will receive in case of the futures contract. Now the time of the decision. Alternative number 1 is invoice in pound using spot exchange rate, which you will receive later on. Alternative number 2 is enter into the forward contract. And the last alternative is that enter into futures contract. Okay. Amount in pound currency is comparable, and based on that we will take the decision. So making a comparison of this three, we suggest the company to enter into the forward contract. So write an answer. The company should enter in forward contract. That is the way we have to take the decision. So friends, over here we understand that say we have to take the decision from the UK company point of view, that say which method of the hedging is the best. The first is that say we invoice in our home currency, we have that negotiation power. So using the spot exchange rate, we have calculated the amount of the pound for which say we can invoice the customer. The second alternative is that say we enter into the forward contract for conversion of the euro into pound, and for that say we have been provided with the forward exchange rate. Just you are required to adjust the forward points slash swap points. If it is high low, it is to be deducted. If it is low high, it is to be added. Next is the last one is simple futures contract. That is the most important portion of the question. Step number one, number of contracts. For that, either you take euro currency into account or pound currency. You convert that say the amount of the lot size say in one of the currency, and based on that say we will compute say the amount of, that is say the number of futures contract to be entered upon. Since we cannot enter into fraction number of contracts, for which clarification is also made in the question, so we have entered into 54 contracts. Entering into 55 contracts say is also acceptable. Second step is most important, that is whatever the original contract in which you are entered upon, that is required to be squared off. Third step is say the amount receivable say in the pound currency. In that say the amount that you have received from the customer plus profit, both of them will be converted at spot exchange rate say in your domestic currency. We have selected an alternative which is giving the maximum advantage to us, that is the forward contract. This is what we understand.